There are many pros and cons to consider when you privatize a drug. When pharmaceutical companies gain a profit, there is so much more revenue for further research and development costs. However, this is only in theory. Since 1980 and on, patent legislation has consequently compromised science. Today, I will be talking about how pharmaceutical companies and the federal government mutually function to make millions of dollars off of vaccines. By the end of my speech, I hope to convince you that we as a nation need to change the marketability of science and focus back to finding the truth. I will dive deep into this topic by laying out the problem, cause, and possible solutions to end this corruption. I will first start by identifying the problem. Over the last 40 years, science has been compromised. In 1980, the government made it illegal to patent scientific findings such as treatment for diseases. In effect, scientists' main focus shifted from meticulous innovation to rush patents in hopes of cashing out to the federal government. Pharmaceutical monopolies. Monopolies saturate markets by being the only provider of a certain good and dictate supply, thus driving up the price. The Commonwealth in 2018 claimed, in 2015, the average profit margin for the 25 largest drug companies was 20.1%. And they go on to say, drug makers are also free to raise prices whenever they want, and they alone determine rates. Doing this discourages innovation, while it encourages the quickest way to get a government-approved patent and allow big drug companies to cash out. Misinformation. Many doctors are silently protesting the current protocol put out the CDC in regards to COVID-19. They claim that wearing masks actually do more harm than good to your immune system. Dr. Zach Erickson on the Plandemic movie claims that touching and interacting with people stimulates an immune response, and when you take that away by wearing a mask and socially distancing, your immune systems in humans drop. I will now talk about the cause of these problems and what has resulted in response to these problems. Public policy that promotes the use of patents and the lack of regulation by the federal government has caused this downward superficial spiral. Government policy. The Patent and Trademark Law Amendment of 1980 allowed non-profit institutions to claim patents on discoveries funded by government research. According to the Open Markets Institute, the Baugh-Doyle Act makes it even more difficult for underfunded researchers or small companies to begin developing new drugs, as more materials are locked away by big firms. The Drug Price Competition and Patent Term Restoration Act of 1984 improved patent protection for pharmaceutical industries for producing innovation for a new drug. However, the policy did more harm than good. According to Business Harvard Review in 2017, they declare that the amendment, drug companies are thwarting competition through a number of tactics. The result is high prices, little to no competition, and drug quality problems. What a shame. I will now talk about possible solutions. Repeal these policies and replace them with ones that promote competition. If the federal government were to go back to post-World War II to 1960s pharmaceutical policy, the market would experience just that. Open Market Institute indicates that policy enforced standards for safety and effectiveness, providing funding for basic research, and critically, limiting patent monopolies, limiting them, and mergers between drug makers. Also, another solution can be just maintaining a good personal hygiene, having a good healthy diet, and being more open to natural remedies when need be. They can boost your immune system before even getting sick. Forbes magazine claims our immune system needs energy to make immune cells, which act as building blocks, and our enzymes, which we need vitamins and minerals to work effectively. I will now transition to my conclusion. Today I discussed the foothold pharmaceutical companies have over society. Specifically, I talked about how pharmaceutical monopolies and the federal government mutually function to make millions of dollars off of vaccines. We must instill back to American culture to protest when the current administration is running rampant with corruption.